right, everybody, it's story time again. We have reached the point of end, the ending. But first of all, before I get into Rush, the finale, I want to say sorry for being late. I had a visitor, and we was conversating, and I lost track of time. But that's how things go. But like I said, we have come to our finale of Rush. I started writing last night, finished it up today. I do think everybody's going to get a big enjoyment on how this ends. It is very weird on how it ends. And what goes down in the finale is, if you imagine in your head and visualize what's going down, it can be very, I want to say action packed. Well, yeah, kind of. But it's going to be very, very vivid. And you're going to understand when it's all over with. Plus, afterwards, after I read the story, we're going to have what I call a spoiler discussion, and I will explain uh, the story Rush. I'll explain everything with a spoiler discussion. But that being said, the spiritual gods are wanting to hear the finale. They've been dying to hear it. They're ready for it. They've been waiting. I'm sure everybody's been waiting. This is probably the longest story I've written because it's like five. I think it's 5 parts, five or six. I believe five. Actually, yeah, 5 or 6. Who knows? Who knows? But it's longer than the other two. So all I can say is let's get down to business. We're here. We're reaching our destination. And a little recap, if you haven't heard the last video, we've got 2 protagonists we've been dealing with so far. But we are also introduced to 2 other characters too that don't really play a big part. They have a few dialogue lines or whatever, but they don't really play a major part in the story, as well as these 2 characters named Matthew Locke and our good old passenger Jeffrey, last name unknown. All I can say is we're getting ready to figure out what Jeffrey is all about in this finale. So, that being said, only thing left to do is read, and then we'll chat it up. If you're ready, I'm ready. The spiritual gods are ready. It's time. Story time begins. Rush, the finale. Excuse me. Matthew stands with a frozen look on his face, shaking with fear. Finally coming to, he picks up the clipboard with the repo information. Walking towards the tow truck, he has a feeling someone or something is watching him. I just need to focus and make it across, and this will all be over with, and that crazy ass Jeffrey will be no more. So get it together, Matthew. The local sheriff's office and U.S. Marshals are on high alert, and a heated search for suspect Jeffrey but can't be found. Not a footprint or fingerprint. This shit is crazy, Harris states. Sir, a silent alarm has been triggered. We pinned the location. Terry's repair shop on Route 9. There is no way he got that far on foot. Holy shit, Locke. He's been slipping past us at every location. What are you up to, Locke? Okay, guys, half of you stay. The rest, let's pay the repair shop a visit. While driving to the repair shop, Sergeant Anderson is marking a local map. Harris, I have a suggestion. Looks like the Mexican border isn't that far away. Anderson, that makes a lot of sense. Once across, he is home free, and our job is fucked. Radio Border Patrol, get them on high alert. Harris replies. Oh man, we're running for the border. After being notified, Border Patrol sets up a roadblock and places guards outside along the wall, making it impossible to enter. Pulling up to the repo location, Matthew exits the truck, looking around but doesn't see the vehicle in sight. He begins to search the property. Walking around to the back side of the house, he's greeted by a resident holding a pistol. You assholes have been trying to take my car for weeks now. I've done told you guys I'm paid up, and you continue to try and repo my shit. Sir, put the gun down. It doesn't have to go this far. I'm sure my boss made a mistake on this paperwork. I'd radio in, but it seems to be just me tonight. It states I have to take it. You can settle this out in the morning, Matthew replies. While hooking up the vehicle, the resident enters the house and loud arguing begins inside the home. Storming out the front door, the wife yells. Matthew turns around and she notices the name patch on the uniform. Hey, sir, I know Terry. We go way back. And I hate to say, you look nothing like him. Something ain't right about this at all. The husband storms out the house with his pistol in hand. I just called Terry, and he doesn't know anything about this. I suggest you lower our car and get the hell out of here. This is your warning, mister. Also noticing the name patch and becoming furious, the wife steps back inside, seeing Matthew's photo on TV news, quickly running and screaming, "It's the killer!" A bullet enters Matthew's shoulder, slamming him backwards into the driver door of the tow truck. Stunned and in pain, Matthew dodges the second shot, shattering the window above his head. Running off into the dark of night, becoming weak from losing blood and pain. Finally passing out, voices begin to speak. Why did we have to die? You're a monster. Burn in hell, you will. From a distance, someone begins to talk to Matthew as he lays passed out on the ground. You see what you have done? All the pain and chaos, suffering, grieving families and friends, and no remorse or mercy. Running will not stop your judgment. Waking up and seeing the light shine down on the border wall, Matthew stands up, dragging himself towards the ditch line. A spotlight blinds his sight. Freeze, or I'll shoot! Shots are fired. Matthew takes hits, falling to the ground, mumbling, I'm sorry. Open cell 248. Lock. Stand at attention. The needle is ready to put you out of your misery. So get ready to kiss your ass goodbye. Looking around, noticing he's in a jail cell, quickly checking for injury, but none are visible. Matthew starts to become irate and begins fighting the guard. Backup arrives, grabbing his arms and feet, carrying him down the hall. Looking up, Jeffrey stands with a wicked smile, red eyes, and slowly waving by as the double doors begin to close. You can't ever escape death. The end. Now, this is the part where we do the spoiler discussion of the story run. If you've been following all the way from the first video, from the introduction, and every part that's been written, I'm going to briefly explain everything that was going on. Yes, Matthew Locke is a serial killer, a real famous one at that. He was incarcerated, awaiting lethal injection. So he decides to escape the prison and, do what he does best. Like I explained, kill. But he was headed out west the whole time. And we all know the best thing to do if you're headed out west is to try to make it to the border. Once across, they can't extradite you. They can't send bounty hunters. They can't do nothing. It is illegal to come across and do anything. So he was be pretty much home free. And that was his big game plan. That's what he conjured up. That seemed to be the easiest way out to avoid being captured again and pretty much put to death, because that's what they was going to do in the beginning. But he runs into a mysterious character named Jeffrey. Weird, backwoods, kind of, crazy. Jeffrey knew what Matthew was. He had an obsession with what he was. And I will tell you the reason why Jeffrey had such an obsession. Jeffrey also had supernatural aspects about him. When under pressure, he will grin and give you a wicked smile and stare at you. Because real humans don't understand what he is. It's kind of like aliens, How did they put it? People fear what they don't understand, and have never seen. It's just, it's amazing. Well, as I continue, Jeffrey started leaking out his supernatural aspects. I mean, obviously, there was something amazing about him because everywhere Matthew would show up, Jeffrey was already there. Jeffrey didn't drive. Just like in the beginning when he pulled over on the side of the road on the highway after he uh, killed the guy that drove the truck at the rest stop. Trying to, basically trying to get himself together. What's my next move, All of a sudden, Jeffrey appears, walks up. So Matthew agrees to give him a ride, but he didn't agree to say how far because Jeffrey is nerve wracking and a bit slow acting because that's his persona, drive you fucking crazy. Well, and he figured he'd leave him on the side of the road by kicking him out of the car. Well, what Matthew didn't understand was that there was something special about Jeffrey. He had specialties that he had never come across in his life. But enough being said about that. So chaos begins, nightmares begin, but there's that key word, nightmare. And the reason why I'm going to stretch on that is everything that happened from the roadhouse to the motel to the convenience store when he broke out of prison. Hell, even the prison breakout was a nightmare. How can I say Matthew was in prison the whole time? He was just asleep. He was dreaming of his escape and what may occur. But you're like, Jay, how could that be when at the end he looked up and seen Jeffrey standing at the end of the hall? Aha. Jeffrey is what we call a wraith. Some of you would like to call it the Grim Reaper. If you pay attention strongly to the last words of the story, you can't ever escape death. Jeffrey is death. Matthew's soul was to be taken. His time was up. His number had been pushed in. It had been dialed up on the heavenly phone. It was time for him to go to where he was going, which we know it ain't heaven by any means. But it still doesn't matter. His name in the book of life had been X'd out. It's weird, but it is a great story. Like I said, all three of these stories I have written can easily stand on their own. They are unique in their own way, and I can't stress that enough. From Backwoods Terror to What Lies Inside to Rush, I had an amazing time writing this. I really enjoyed writing the finale. I could have got more in depth with it, but I didn't feel it had to be. I wanted a lot to remain a mystery, and I wanted to tell you myself in this spoiler discussion. But just remember, Jeffrey was the Grim Reaper the whole time. Matthew was dreaming because when you heard at the end open cell 248, you also heard that at the beginning of the story. That's how it all started. Open cell 248, lock, stand at attention. So, there you have it. And I hope whoever's listening, and I hope whoever listens to the story and the videos, the read-alongs, I hope they enjoy it. Uh, oh hell, I hope you enjoy all 3 stories because they are physically written by numero uno here. You won't find them on Amazon. You won't find them on any audiobook site. The only place you're going to find them is in my 2 notebooks right in front of me, right here with me. Or you can listen to the read-alongs on YouTube. You will find the read-alongs on YouTube. I will say that. If you want to hear them, subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button. Hit that notification bell. And anytime I do something fresh like this, you can be notified and be right there on site, whether I'm late or early. Just stick around. I'm usually not that far off. And I will never disappoint you when it comes to content. But anyways, that being said about Rush, there's not really much I can get into about that. I do feel Matthew finally had a change of heart when the voices started talking to him as he was laying passed out on the ground. When they started coming forth, basically the spirits of people he has killed, throughout his, big murder escapade. He finally, mumbled, I'm sorry. But maybe he was hoping that would give him some kind of credentials and some kind of credit, but it really didn't. He ended up with the fate that he was destined to end up with, and that was death. He tried to escape it, but he couldn't. Because good old Jeffrey was standing down there waving. Hey. We'll holler at you. See you in a minute. Well, anyways, that being said, that is the finale of Rush. And we're done, folks. I'll be back with fresher content soon. Just stay tuned to my community wall. I'll let you know what's getting ready to come up, what's getting ready to happen. Anyways, enjoy the stories. Matter of fact, all my stories I have a playlist on my channel. If you click the playlist thing, each of them's been broken down in their own separate playlist from video number 1 all the way to the end, the finales. So choose one, listen to it, check it out, like it, hate it, whatever. And I will see you guys soon for more update, fresher content. We'll holler at you. Everybody have a good one.